live? Not live? Live?
We're live from the magic room.
Yes, let's get into that. Everybody, welcome back to the Countdown Podcast. I am your co-host, Drew.
And I'm Leighton. And if you're new here, we're brothers.
And today we have a guest that'll make us brothers? How's that work?
Brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah, exactly. So, introduce.
Today we have Eric Schlange, the Zwift Insider.
Nice to be here, boys.
That's right. That's exciting.
And Eric is, yes, he's our brother-in-law.
Mhm.
And you've known him for a very long time.
Longer than you, actually.
That's actually...
Wow.
So
the insight is already coming.
if anything, he's like more of a brother to me than you are.
Good. You need that influence.
Oh, my.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so Eric is our guest today. He is the El Capitan. Do you call yourself a CEO?
No, I call myself the El Capitan.
I love it. See, there we go.
No,
Of
yeah, CEO.
Zwift
Technical
Insider.
title, yeah.
And so, for our listeners and those out there in the Webiverse, that's new. What is? Let's actually go into. There's Zwift and there's Zwift Insider. You're Zwift Insider. There's Zwift that's something else. What is Zwift? Before we get into Zwift Insider.
All right, so Zwift is actually on the screen behind me. I tell people it's a video game that makes you sweat. Zwift is an indoor fitness video game. You can do it as a runner with a treadmill, but the vast majority of people on it are cyclists on a stationary indoor setup. So you ride your bike indoors and you are powering your avatar through a virtual world. And the real cool, I think the kind of the secret sauce for Zwift is the social side of it, because when you're in that real world, you are riding with everybody else on Earth who is riding, which is thousands of people. So you can race, you can do group rides, and there's actual like real world physics like drafting, and when you hit a climb, it gets harder on your bike, all that sort of stuff. So it's a cycling simulator. Yeah.
And that's why we are wearing the headbands, is because it's going on behind us. I'm sweating.
I was like,
just
it's already
watching it.
working because it's
Yeah.
nice and warm.
Yeah, yeah.
We're getting a great Zwift workout, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm exhausted, actually.
Toasty. Well, and,
Yeah.
and it's pretty popular, right? Zwift.
It is, yeah. It exploded during COVID. COVID was crazy. When the lockdowns hit, especially, it exploded in the best way.
Yeah. Positive.
Lockdowns, like especially in Europe, we didn't experience this in the States, but there were entire countries where it was illegal to ride your bike outside, which in hindsight is crazy. But everybody was doing their best. But like Spain, whole country couldn't ride outside. Italy had some of that. Anyway, so all these cyclists who were used to riding outdoors turned to Zwift, and everybody sold out of their indoor trainers. Like you couldn't find one to save your life, and the Zwift tripled in size in like 2 months during COVID. But yeah, it's big now. I mean, they have right around a little over, I think, 1 million subscribers now. And this is the slow time of year because it's Northern Hemisphere summer. So like this morning when I logged on, it showed, I don't know, 5,000, 4,000 people currently riding. But in the peak times in the winter, you'll log on, it'll be 20,000, 30,000 at any given time. But that's from 1 million subscribers.
Well, and Zwift even hosted the Tour de France during COVID.
They did. That was super cool. The Tour de France was canceled, which was like unprecedented during COVID because they didn't want crowds hanging out there in France. And Zwift, they approached the organizers of the Tour de France, the ASO, and said, we want to do a virtual one. So all the world tour teams raced virtually on a new world. Zwift created a France map and a Paris map just for the virtual Tour de France, and they all got to race on it. And then we all got to race on it, which was super cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So were you in the Tour de France?
I mean, basically.
So you won the Tour de France.
Yeah, basically.
I knew that. Wow. I knew that. Man, we were in the presence of greatness.
Yes, we are.
Our brother is, it's good.
So what's Zwift Insider then? Because that was Zwift, your Zwift Insider.
Yeah, so Zwift Insider is basically a fan site about Zwift. It's a very big blog about Zwift, and it's the most popular blog online about it. So
No big deal.
Of course
No
it
big deal.
is. Absolutely.
So it has lots of different content. So kind of think of if you were into something like Zwift, what you would want to know about Zwift, and it's on there. So like big upcoming event announcements, we put that stuff on there. When Zwift releases a game update, we unpack those updates and talk about what's in them. We interview cool Zwifters with great stories. Like there's a dude right now who I still follow on Strava who's ridden something like 1,020 consecutive days of 100 miles or more. And he uses Zwift for a lot of it, not all of it, but most of it.
Dave.
So yeah, like crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're waiting to be interviewed for
that,
our
yeah.
crazy.
We're like at 99 or 999
Yeah, you're
days
getting
of
there.
riding.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
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 I'm on level 20, thank you.
I don't even know what that means. Oh.
Good for you.
Well, that
So, I was gonna Kamite. No, so okay, so you and we'll get a little bit into this later, but you saw a need. Like you got on Zwift yourself, you saw a need like, whoa, there's like unexplained things here. Is that what I'm understanding? And you being you were like, I'm gonna create this site.
Yeah, I found Zwift, and within a month or so of using it, I thought, I have lots of questions. This is really great, and I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
So the only place that you could get answers basically to Zwift questions was a Facebook group called Zwift Riders that existed back then. Zwift didn't really have like a support knowledge base that had much in it. So I started kind of answering my own questions. Like I had the same questions everybody else had, and I would research it. And I thought, I'm gonna write a blog post about this, because that's kind of the way I reason through stuff, is I write through it. So that's how it started. It was kind of a off the cuff thing. I didn't have a major long-term plan and wasn't sure where it was going to go, but I knew it was a need. I knew when you searched on Google, you really couldn't find much because all the knowledge was hidden in a Facebook group, which is silly.
Yeah.
So I thought, yeah, I mean, it might work. If I start doing this, we'll see. And that's where it all began.
Little humble brag off the top of your head. Do you know how many people follow you, or can you keep track of that? Not on Zwift, but on like Zwift Insider or
blog.
Yeah, it depends on what you consider a follow.
Or used, or how often you're clicked, or
there's so many different metrics. Like on Facebook, the Zwift Insider page has just under 50,000 followers.
Oh, that's like us.
Yeah.
But the site will get like peak time during the winter, it'll get 30,000 visitors a day.
Okay.
Right around there, 30, sometimes upwards of that. But it's
a big town.
It's a big town. Yeah.
That's like San Luis Obispo.
It's a popular place, and lots of comments and interaction, which is cool. It's really, I've always pitched it as a community site. So I have people who contribute posts to it too, which I love. Like I want it to be not just my voice on it all the time, because Zwift really is about the community. So, yeah, I'm not really interested in that. In fact, if I could just have other people create all the content, I'd be happy to do that. But it's not the case.
Yeah. Is that an invite?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Right now. Let's end this. Well, and we wanted to talk with you because because we're working on a countdown
We're
to.
not there yet, bro. Not there yet.
I was there. Anyway, please continue.
I don't know what this means.
I don't know either.
But in
Time out.
Yeah, time out. You're gonna get the horn.
Okay, well,
If you're not watching this, it's a little weird. If you are watching, it's a little weird. No, I wanted to back up a little bit before we get into like our process of like with Countdown to, whatever our goals are and what our goals are with Zwift. How we're all connected. So like, I mean, we're brothers. And it does lead into that. So of why on this episode, or why on this podcast, why we wanted Eric on this podcast. So yeah.
Keep going.
No, I'm gonna have some dead silence here, just to annoy you.
Something's gonna be dead.
Someone's gonna die. No, so I mean, with Countdown to podcast, as you know, our main goal is to, like, for those that are starting later on in life, or with working out, getting healthy, or whatever the case may be, like us, your story, and we know your story obviously because we've been related to you for a while through our sister. But you have
Do anything. Just keep talking, please.
I can't watch you, dude.
Just look at her.
Okay, so we're blocking out this guy over here. So no, with your story and starting this, like, you were always an athlete in high school. I mean, I know you played baseball, you played soccer. Anything else in high school?
No, that's it.
Matt
In
wasn't
terms
enough.
of school sports.
Mathlete. No.
I was actually
Are you
on
serious?
academic decathlon.
Oh, wow.
That's a pretty big deal.
See, you learned something new even about, yeah. Okay. Excellent. But so then you and I were like best friends growing up.
Yeah.
We rode mountain bike a little bit. We rode road bike a little bit as people got more involved.
It's the 90s or 80s?
The
90s.
30s.
Back when the safety bike was invented in the late 1800s.
Yeah, exactly. The one with big wheel.
Trying to paint a picture.
The penny farthing.
I don't know. Anyways, but then you go to college.
Yeah.
Illinois.
Somehow you started dating my sister.
That was weird.
Somehow you got married.
Mhm.
And then you come back, and I think I had already moved away by then. But the next thing you know, like a few years after that, all of a sudden it's just like, yeah, I'm racing bikes. And I'm like, wait, when did you get back into bikes? Did you? And so my question in a roundabout way is like, so you stepped away from the bike world, but then how did you get back plugged into it?
So yeah, like you said, in high school we rode together, and like I think we were pretty into cycling. That's my memory.
Yeah.
Is like I remember getting the magazines and going through
Yeah.
the performance bike and Nash bar and saving up money for
Nash
whatever we could
bar.
afford. You remember that?
Old school.
Yeah.
I love it.
And we used to ride up on Boggs Mountain with Russell, and so I loved it. Like, I used to follow the Tour de France during that time. But basically, yeah, when high school ended and I left for college, I basically stopped riding. And then I came back, and I'm self-employed, start a family. And I remember thinking every few years it would come to mind like, oh, bike riding. And I would think, I don't have time for bike riding. I like it too much, and I can't just like ride a half an hour a week and be happy with it. Like, I'm going to want to go all in, and I can't. So I basically held it at arm's length. And it's funny. It's kind of like for the first 18 years of my life, I rode bikes, and then I really didn't for another 18 years almost. So it was, it would have been 2014. At the very end of 2014, my two local friends, Zane and my uncle Doug, both guys that I did a lot of like sports and workout and stuff with, they both got road bikes. And neither of them were cyclists at all at that time. And I'd been telling them like for a long time, dude, you should try riding. It's really fun. And I had a mountain bike at that time, but I would ride it every few weeks. Like on a Saturday, I'd go out and just do a ride just for the fun of it. But I wasn't training at all. And they both got road bikes. And I kind of looked at my life and I thought, yeah, I think I have space for this now. And I've got two friends to ride with. So I picked up a bike, which is it's here in my Zwift cave, December of 2014. Started riding a lot with Zane, and we I was immediately into I want to ride at least 100 miles a week goal, and just did that and rode with our local group all the way until that next winter. So like 9 months, 10 months. And that's when I found Zwift, was when winter came, and I go, how am I going to keep training? It's dark too early. It's too cold. I bought a set of rollers, tried riding those,
Wow.
crashed majestically
Please tell me you had a
multiple
video.
times. Have you ever ridden rollers?
No,
Dude,
because I'm smart.
you feel like
Or smart
you
enough.
never learned how to ride a bike. You're like, I can't. How do you? Once you figure it out, it's actually great training, really good for
It's great
smooth pedal
core
cadence.
training too.
It's a full experience, but you will fall over, and it's crazy. Anyway, I thought there's probably something better than this, and I saw an ad for Zwift, and just kind of went down the rabbit hole and bought a trainer, and that's that. So that was late October 2015 is when I found Zwift, and then
Start racing.
Racing on Zwift or just racing at all?
Well, you did some local races around here.
Yeah. I think my first racing was actually on Zwift because I felt like I was still just getting into shape that first year, and the guys I was riding with were racers, and we had a Tuesday night Smash Fest ride, which was basically a race, and I would just get dropped every. But then Zwift is where I really started racing, and it actually, that first time I was on Zwift racing, I realized, oh, I have more that I can give that I haven't been giving outdoors, because for whatever reason, like I'm worried that I'm going to explode and vomit on the side of the road and have to be picked up or who knows what. But on Zwift, I was able to push myself harder, which meant when I went outside when the weather got good, I pushed myself harder then because I had found new limits.
Did you ever vomit on Zwift?
I never have, but I've felt that feeling of
push harder.
Does Zwift have plans to make the Avatar vomit?
They should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then a Zwift branded vomit bucket next year. Great.
It's called a Zwucket. Yeah.
Better coin that phrase.
By the way, when you guys were friends before my sister, I was probably 4.
When
just
we were
for
friends?
reference. Yeah, now you're best friends. No, before you married our sister, I was a little baby.
You know what's
So I didn't
funny?
get to hang out much.
When you guys started dating, because my sister's older than I am, and I'm older than Eric, I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is funny.
Well, first time I kissed her, I was like, wait, what?
All right, let's move on away from that one.
There was a little bit of,
Please say more.
recalibration that had to happen. Yeah, she's 3 years older than me.
You know-
Drew's 1 year older.
You know what's
For
funny?
context.
And I'm 12 years younger than everyone else here.
What's funny is that picture of my sister Monica going to the prom with Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Brasher?
And yeah,
Oh,
and
that's great.
and you were over at our house, and like somebody said, hey, it'd be funny if like Eric was behind him with like this bat and making a face. And so it's so fitting because like
Yeah, it looks like Matt, because Matt's got his arm around Monica, and it looks like he's like trying to steal my girl, and I'm behind him like trying to brain him because I'm mad.
Yeah.
But like we weren't an item at all.
yeah, you were
Right.
like 12 or something.
Yeah,
and,
she would have been a senior or a junior in high school, and I would have been like 7th grade, 8th grade. So yeah, it is funny.
Oh my
Good
word. All right.
Do you ever rub that in Matt's face? Like, I got the girl. Yeah, he should.
Absolutely.
Daily.
Yeah.
On Zwift Insider blog.
Yeah.
That's all your blogs. That's all your blog
That
posts,
Brasher.
sir.
Oh my gosh.
Excellent. Yeah, continue on.
Thank you. Well, we wanted to interview Eric, not just because we're a ball of fun, but so we have a countdown, our next countdown to which
Our
is
big one.
Our big one.
Yeah.
It's a year-long one. It's going to be Yeti Cycles gathering in 2026. And so we're coming up with a training program to be ready. So because it's 30 miles a day, 3,000 feet of climbing for 3 or 4 days. Yeah, and so during the winter season, especially, we want to jump on Zwift and get strong. So we want to talk to you.
Yeah.
About, because we've been Zwifting for a little while. You way more than me, because I go outside.
Level 20. What level are you? What was it?
I don't know. 'Cause I don't know what these levels mean.
We can look it up and find out.
Can we shame him?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
But if he's a higher level, then it's going to be shameful for you. So this is
If he's
Could
at
be
a higher
double-edged
level than
sword.
me, then he found the cheat code or something. Because
yeah, I think you're right.
with his e-bike.
Excuse me?
Level 8.
Ooh,
Hey,
I'm
Late.
Close.
Always late to the
Drew,
party.
what level did you say you were?
I think I'm like a 19, right on 20.
Oh, we get
29.
Wow.
Sir.
Or yeah,
Don't
29.
sell yourself short.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was my humble
Drew.
brag.
Marie Starks.
Actually, the cheater of it is okay. You got on Zwift, and you're like, Drew, you should try this. And you got to get it, and you help me understand it and what gear to get. That's one thing that's nice about Zwift Insider is because it's like, hey, this trainer really works, this doesn't, blah blah blah, whatever the case may be, and then connectivity, all that fun stuff. So you help me get on it, and then I think I was on it for like a year, maybe, whatever. And then I got off it. Like, I don't know what it was. It was just either the price or whatnot. Not that it's expensive. I just prioritized differently. And so then this time around, when I got back on it, it kept my level. Like, even though I quit, it kept my level. So I'm just like, even though I'm
still
starting
level 2.
Yeah, as long as you keep your same account, you can
Yeah.
you can stop your subscription and not ride for
I mean, I think
10 years.
I think when I came back, I was on level 10 or something like that.
For
so,
reference, Eric, what level are you at?
100. That's
Okay.
the
That's the
highest
max.
level. It's one of the
how long
Things
have you
you're
been
working
on
on?
level 100?
it's one of the funny things about Zwift is
Hilarious.
they've never figured out their leveling system. So they'd be like, "Hey, we've just added levels. Now there's a level 50." And 100,000 people will get up to level 50.
And they're like, what do we do?
And we're like, add more levels. Zwift.
It's like
give us more
Y2K.
carrots to chase. So they are going to add. They're saying like in the next, probably in this year, they're going to add more levels above 100 because it's reached a critical mass of Zwifters that are at that level. I've been there. I don't know how long I've been there.
I was going to say,
a couple of years.
If you could think of like where you should be if the levels were infinite.
That's a good question. Part of the
105.
It's hard to do the math because it's not because the levels get harder every level you go up. It takes more work. To level up. So it's like, how exponential is it?
That's why you're on 8.
Yeah.
I was more saying, because I'm like, just add another number to the software. But
it is pretty simple to add a level. I'm not sure why Zwift has not done this. Of all the complex things they've figured out,
get it together.
Leveling seems like
you could do better.
I'm sure they're listening.
They will do better.
They will. Yeah, I know they're going to be doing it. I have no idea what level I would be at because I don't know how high those additional levels are going to be.
How many miles a week are you putting in? Like on the trainer, not on the road.
Oh, just on Zwift?
Yeah.
That's hard to say because this
Winter
time
season.
of year, my riding, it kind of I split it between indoors and outdoors. Yeah, I pretty much year round though. I'm like 175 to 200 miles a week on average, and that's during the winter. That's almost exclusively on Zwift, and during the summer, it's like 50-50 probably
50
on average.
50.
50-50.
8.
Yeah.
What?
So you like riding bikes?
I do love riding bikes. Yeah.
Dude, us too.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, well, and you, because Eric and I live in the same town. Drew left. Washington. I'm just kidding. I used to live up there. It's pretty
Who lives in Washington?
rainy.
The state
And
of
you would invite me
Washington.
over to come Zwift, and I would sometimes at 6 a.m. It was great. It was
Times.
good training, and
That's when the winners train.
yes. And while I was doing CrossFit too, it was a lot. And then finally, I got my own kicker, my own trainer set up at home, and because Drew, well, actually, I put my mountain bike on the trainer. Oh no, you have that thing.
No, I don't have that thing, but I have a thing like that thing.
Hey, sorry.
For those that can't see, he's talking about a trainer.
Yeah. Anyways, so and
I have my own
the mountain
setup,
bike
yes.
works great. Like I wasn't sure if the geometry would be
Or the squish.
or the squish.
Or the squish.
That's
I mean,
nice.
that's a
The
thing.
squish is nice from suspension.
I was sort of like,
Never
never mind.
the squish started.
Oh,
Because my fork doesn't lock out. I have a 38 and it doesn't lock out. So
Yeah. No, I was
I'm
more
pushing on
thinking
the
the
hill.
rear. Just
the rear seat, yeah. Yeah, I gotta oil that thing off in the early morning.
okay, so when I mountain bike and I'm going uphill, I'll pump. to activate the rear shock to propel. Can you do that on Zwift? and,
Yeah.
like, get some better.
No, Zwift, let's do it. Let's make that a thing.
Yeah,
If they can't get above level 100, they're probably not going to add mountain bike uphill
Squish.
pumping.
Is a mode.
I don't know if in real life do you do that to get up a hill?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I do that.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I might.
I've never heard of this.
It helps. So like if you're coming up a hill, like, and I was doing it, we went to Downieville. What?
I didn't do anything.
Okay. We didn't go to Downieville. Did we go to Downieville for this story?
Will you just tell
we
your
were
thing
mountain
and then
biking
we'll get to that.
recently. I'm just gonna say that. And yeah, I mean, anytime there was some uphill, like, I'll save my legs and I'll just start pumping. And it's almost like a well, you don't look like a jackrabbit, but maybe a jackcat. Never mind. But yeah, but no, that extra spring,
That makes
it
sense.
just it just crawls you up the hill.
Especially like
You don't
the
do
preload.
it. You're not doing it. Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah,
don't
the
do it
preload.
when you're like climbing up hills per se. But when you got the rollers and stuff like that, I'll just at the bottom of the hill, I'll pump it as you're going up, and then midway through, pump again, and it
I'm sure
helps
getting
a
up some
lot.
tech would help.
Dang
too.
it! Why am I giving my secret away? Next time we ride, you guys
That's
are
why
gonna
we
be
didn't
like,
keep it.
I'm like,
So anyway,
between that and your e-bike, you were climbing up those hills.
well, so we took so you're a roadie,
Yeah.
and what are normies? What are we? Mounties?
Canadian horseback police.
I almost said oi.
We're primarily mountain bikers.
Mounties.
And Eric mountain bikes. But yeah, we
I'm a
wanted to.
roadie who mountain bikes.
Yes.
You guys are mountain bikers.
Do we have a weird name or like roadie?
Mountain bikers.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Normies.
Chads.
Hairy-legged,
Oh, yeah.
baggy-clothed,
Non-swimmers.
non-swimmers.
Anyway, we for a couple days ago. What? A couple days ago, we decided to take Eric to Downieville, California, where the #1 rated downhill trail for California is, and we had a fun time.
That was a good time.
What'd you think?
I loved it. I mean, it was so it's 15 miles long.
Yes.
I mean, in the last few miles we were just on a fire road, so it wasn't technical or anything. But I've never ridden such a long downhill, and I liked the level of technicality of it, where it's just a nice single track, pretty much the whole time, and it was technical enough that you had to keep your wits about you. You had to pilot the bike well through little rock gardens and stuff, but it wasn't so bad where you're like, oh, I'm gonna die, I got to get off my bike, or like step back and figure out how to do this one. So it was a nice level, and not like super steep, but steep enough you could get all the speed you wanted and plenty more. And a beautiful spot and tons of riders around you, which I love. So yeah,
Close calls.
Well, real quick.
he asked knowing the answer.
Real quick. This is in addition to it being 15 miles, it's also 5,000 feet of descent and about 400 or 500 feet of climbing, just right in the middle.
Yeah.
And there's and it's black diamond tech, chunky, rocky, and there's some blue flow trails in there as well for speed.
And if I may,
No,
even
yes.
going downhill, are you getting a workout?
It's a good question.
That is true. Yes.
Yeah, and I would say I would say it's always true that you're getting a workout doing downhill, but this being the longest downhill I've ever done by far. I felt that workout more than I have anywhere else, and I felt it like my quads were burning pretty much constantly from standing up. So it's not from pedaling.
Yeah,
it's
right.
from that standing up, which
It's like a constant
you don't
squat.
train
Yeah,
for.
constant
Like
squat.
Zwifting doesn't train you for that. Yeah, constant squats
Like this.
and then my freaking forearms and my grip
Yeah.
strength. I'm a computer guy. I don't have the
Yeah, look at those noodle arms.
My cycling forearms. So yeah, it was definitely a workout, and it's a workout because when you pull over to the side to stop, you're sweating.
Yeah.
So there is a workout element there, a different sort of a workout, like not so much like the pure cardio workout of pedaling constantly, but I'm sore. definitely had the soreness. You asked about close calls. I mean, there was probably like 50 times on that ride that I nearly crashed. But I think the best close calls were you were behind me, Drew, and we got to this little rock section where it was kind of almost like stair step sort of rocks, and I pretty sure I just hit it too slow. Like a real cyclist would have just kind of sent it and just gone over him, but I hit it too slow, so my front would drop, and I'm on the brakes, and my body's kind of pitching over the front a little too much. So I'm doing an endo, like a stoppie.
And you're clipped in.
And I'm clipped in. Yeah. Don't have the downhiller set up. And so I'm clipped in, and I save it. And then just in time to go and hit the next one and do the exact same thing. Another
was twice.
Like, Drew's behind me like, whoa.
Yeah, the first one I'm like, oh, he's saving himself. Wait, he's doing it again. Okay.
What is he doing?
In those moments, I'm like, okay, I need to stop and just reset.
Take a breath.
Take a breath. Whew, we did it.
Yeah, it was close. And I survived all that, and kind of got to the end of the little run to where we were stopping at a bridge. So I kind of come around the corner, and the bridge is there, and there's like 40 mountain bikers hanging out. I'm like, what is going on? Why are we all stopped? What am I supposed to do? So I'm just like barely moving, and I'm looking up at them, and my front tire hits a root on the side of the road, and my bike just stops, and I fall over, and there's like, I'm off the edge of the trail. Like I start falling down the ravine. Save it.
To be fair,
in front of 40 mountain bikers.
It was very
great.
E-bikers.
Smooth and
I'm sure it was.
And methodical.
Majestic.
Yeah, majestic. There we go. It was well done.
As everything.
Oh yeah.
Zwift Insider.
Yeah, that's right.
It felt
majestic.
very majestic.
Majestic Zwift Insider. I think that's the new name. It should be.
Well, I want to compliment you because so I wanted the majestic view from the rear. So I rode behind her.
Oh.
Wow, we're getting really
quarters
personal here.
Eric was, Drew was ahead, Eric in front of me, and I was trying to take it a little bit easier because I'm still healing. But man, you flew. I lost you a lot. Like I was like, dude. And when I was on you, like certain tech, when I was right behind you, you were hitting it so well. Like you look confident, you look great, and you don't get much tech riding in Zwift, right? Like,
do not. No. Yeah. Well, that's good to hear, because I don't feel like super comfortable mountain biking, especially when I ride like behind Drew, who is like this Adonis on a bike, as he's popping little things around the corner.
Yeah, Google what that means.
And I'm like, I just feel like
orthodontist.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I do have a Yeti. That's
orthodontist.
Only orthodontists have Yetis.
Speaking of learning how to handle stuff, funny story, Zwifty story. My cousin Boone, that you guys know, he was training on Zwift a bunch. Got himself pretty bike fit, riding solely on Zwift here in the office. And one day I said, Boone, we need to ride up Canocti. You need to experience riding a mountain bike outdoors. He says, great. So he borrows a bike, and we go up to the parking lot of Canocti, our local volcano here, right outside my window. And he does fine on the climb, like because he's built a lot of fitness.
Good.
And we start descending, and I'm going down, and I'm watching him from behind, and I look behind after 2 minutes, and he's just disappeared. Like he's nowhere to be seen. So I end up pulling over, and I stop for him, and he pulls up, and he goes, I started descending, and I suddenly realized Zwift has not prepared me for this in any way. He's like, and he's not a cyclist. Like he hasn't done a lot of bike riding in his life. So he's just riding the brakes all the way down, super nervous.
In his defense, he's on a fire road, and fire roads are sketchy.
They are,
like,
yeah.
Especially because you could fly down that fire road, and then you're like, oh, there's no berm on this corner, and
this
is all loose gravel. Like,
yeah.
And so, and he was on a mountain bike.
Yeah.
He had thick tires and stuff.
Yeah,
okay, that's good at least. But
yeah. Anyway, he knew. Boone's a guy who knows his limits. He's like, I have no interest in crashing and
good for him.
Not being able to work. It was funny. Zwift is not prepared.
So no matter what, you still need to go outside and ride some bikes.
You do. I think that's a wise thing to do.
One thing I do really like about Zwift riding indoors versus outside is you do not idle. Like you are pedaling and pushing the whole time. Like
there's no real.
You can come up to a hill
coasting
outside and be like, oh, get this breeze and not pedal and get a little break. But
Zwift is probably the most efficient way to train in terms of a bike, because an hour on Zwift, it's hard to get the same amount of training riding outdoors, and that's with a good a good outdoor riding situation, which like we have here, we can just hop on a bike and go. But there are people, like, imagine living in the middle of San Francisco where you have to ride for half an hour to get to where you can ride.
Yeah.
Those sort of setups. Or, there are like people who are just worried about riding outside, older folks who are nervous about traffic. And
Yeah, that's true.
depending on the environment you live in, Zwift can be super helpful that way too.
But if you hate people, it's nice, but you also have a community aspect of Zwift, so you can partake in.
If you hate people,
Like I don't know. Never mind. I was trying to say that, like, even if you hate people and you want to ride by yourself, you
For
still
the
are going to be
extreme
around other
introverts.
riders a little bit. But
If
anyways,
you hate people, Zwift is the place.
there's a plug.
Yep.
That should be a marketing campaign right there.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then we ended our ride, and we got a baby deer friend.
Well,
Yeah.
kudos to you first for riding 1 month after your after your surgery. 1 month?
5 weeks after surgery.
Yeah, who's counting? And I mean, it might not be the smartest thing, but who cares? you know?
Well,
But you know the trail. Well, the
Yeah.
thing is, I mean, I think it's calculated. You know the trail. You know what to expect.
I'm only being half stupid when I'm usually full stupid. So.
Yeah. Look, Mom.
No, well, now that's the thing with this injury is I was like, all right, I'll go mountain biking a little bit. Doctors want me to wait till August, September. We're just getting into July, and this is my second ride since surgery. I rode last week as well, on some tech. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do trails that I know well, and I've ridden Downieville a handful of times, and that I know I can handle, and I have no problem walking something if I need to, if I'm not feeling great. And this ride, because it was 15 miles, the last one was 10 and had a lot of climbing. I had no problems on the other ride. This one, I started feeling a little pain when I would shift. It's really odd. I feel fine now, but
It's like the whole body's connected.
yeah. I had no
amazing.
idea.
Yeah.
It's like the hand bone's connected to the
The
arm bone, shoulder bone.
so bizarre. Anyways,
But back to the deer, yeah.
but what is nice is that the suspension nothing affects the collarbone at all for me. So that's really nice.
You were
Yeah.
walking the whole trail, but
Yeah.
it's cool.
1-footers.
Hey, I did break something.
Did you actually?
It's probably broken.
I'll pray for you.
I'll
kiss it.
Third Divide. I love that section of the trail. That is fast. I got up to 45 miles an hour.
46. Yeah.
Yeah.
On
45.
Strava
45.7. Yeah, however Strava. Yeah, whatever.
calculates it.
And but yeah, I was going, and they had the ride out berms.
Yeah.
So I go high, and there was like a root right there. Man, I just punched my foot right into the root, and like, I'm glad I had those shoes on because they're thicker, 510s, and but yeah, it's all black and blue, and yeah, fun.
Thank God your collarbone's okay.
I know exactly. I
Toes
felt your
rough.
pain. I mean, between the sunburn I got in Moab and this broken toe, I feel like your pain level and my pain level, I can understand. Like, wow.
Yeah, you're really suffering.
The next morning after I broke my collarbone, I'm like in agony. He's like, imagine how I feel with this sunburn. Don't share a room with your brother.
Oh, there was a lot of reasons why I don't share a room with your brother on that trip.
True. So, but anyway, yeah, we ran into well, not literally, but a baby deer.
Well, no, first we scared
We
it.
ran into baby deer.
Yeah. We're gonna get
saved
some,
its life.
environmentalists.
PETA.
or not
Baby,
environmentalists.
get him.
Well, first we
I
scared
already
it.
had someone reach out on Instagram. I was like, you're not supposed to touch the deer.
Well, okay,
It's
so
like, I know.
in that fairness, because I wrestled with it. Should I touch it? Should I not? Or stuff like that. But it was on a blind corner. He was playing dead.
Cars and 4x4s.
Cars 4x4s, but I was seeing all of those motorcyclers that were in town.
Oh, yeah.
Like them flying around, man, they would have ran that thing right over. And so I was like, man, should I not? And I tried to find a stick, but it was like cliff on this side, cliff on this side.
You're a savior.
We could have walked away thinking they would get up, but I just was waiting for somebody else to fly around that corner.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, I got gloves on.
It got
And
rid.
literally I picked it up and it just took off.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay. good.
Bambi
I did-
reunited with mom.
I did my duty.
It's all good.
Yeah.
And then we got to end the ride in glacier, swimming in glacier water, which was fantastic.
Nice.
That was nice.
That's it. I mean, and yeah, the other cool thing I think about Downieville is just I love that it's a mountain biking town.
Yeah.
And then and you do that whole ride and you end up down at the bottom and there's great eateries and ice cream and a cold river.
Bikes
It's like,
everywhere.
it's just super cool.
Yeah, and that's why I love, like, I mean, there's so many different stories and podcasts and there's zines anymore, web zines. I don't know.
There are zines.
Yeah,
Film-
they're
film
different.
zine. I have a bunch.
Different name now, but
Yeah.
that talk about the small town. Like this town, Downieville, was a gold mining town, and it dried up. And then where's the industry? You know, there's a lot of that up north where it's like this town was a lumber town. The mill closes, and then what does it have? And so a lot of these places are getting more biking trails and stuff like that for the economy,
Yeah.
the tourism economy, and it's working.
Yeah, well, and they have a giant festival every year with a big race, and it's that ride, 15 miles, 5,000 feet of descent, and it's so cool because this town looks like it's from the gold mine, and then you see like Santa Cruz bikes and every sweet bike brand, and then for our cross country riders, it's like 28-mile race with 5,000 feet of climbing on single track. Like they have built this place, the Sierras, man.
Yeah, and they're starting to connect the towns.
Yes,
by trail, which
by
I
trail.
love. That I want to do that.
Go do it.
Well, I mean,
Washougal to Lake County. Washougal, Washington to Lake County, California.
there we go.
Anyways, so anyway, Downieville is great. What should we talk about next? Do you have more to say?
This is all on you, bro.
Everything's always.
No, so in our next countdown, like we've talked about, we were wanting and using Zwift for the sake of getting in shape. We both have our own goals to do so, or what we want to accomplish. Mine would be just the endurance for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And because I mean, this festival or this gathering, this Yeti gathering next year, I mean, it's very doable. It's not like it's this out of reach thing for us, but we also, you know, being with our age and our abilities, and our ability to actually train, you know, we don't want to just make it. We want to, you know, thrive, have fun doing it, enjoy it. I've never
dying after each ride.
Since high school, when we were in high school, we did the 3-day, 300-mile bike ride, road bike, Lassen National Park area. I've never done any back-to-back-to-back like that since. And so that's one thing that I'm...
Whistler. I mean, I know it's different. So you're not climbing, but it's still rough in recovery. You still have heavy... But when your hands are like this after riding bike park all day and, you know...
What was that?
So anyway, I'm just giving you some credit where you're discrediting yourself.
Well, okay, but I haven't been to Whistler in a few years, unfortunately. So that back-to-back has not been
true.
There.
Okay.
So anyways, yeah. So, but this being 3 days back-to-back-to-back, it's like, oh man, I don't want to just survive this. I want to actually have fun, recover enough to be able to do it the next day and live to tell about it, not break my pinky toe. Not that that's related to fitness. So
yeah.
Solid goal. Yeah, I think endurance is something you can't shortcut. Like it takes logging the time, and that's cycling. I mean, any endurance sport is that way, but cycling really shows that. It shows the time that you put in day after day after day, year after year.
Well, and Drew and I are notoriously, like, we're downhill mountain bikers. We love downhill. I've always hated climbing. And then since working on endurance training, and when I was doing CrossFit, there was a lot of endurance in there too. We were finally getting to a point where we'd climb and we get to the top and we're like, that was a great warm up. Like, I'm ready to go down.
You know what's funny is how I discovered that was through running. I started running just 2 miles to save my knees. And what?
Running is notoriously bad for your knees.
Well, I wouldn't do any more than 2 miles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I tried to go more than 2 miles and my knees started to scream like a...
Sorry.
Yeah. And so then I started riding and doing big climbs. I'm like, wow, That climb wasn't as bad as I thought. Like
Yeah.
lung wise, leg wise, and all stuff like that. And so it kind of turned that corner of like
Yeah.
climbing is kind of fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
Some of the
Let's
fun.
not get carried away.
Yeah.
Well, and some of the tech climbing, I
Accomplishing.
was
Oh.
like, okay, I can see the sense of accomplishment of getting through this tech climb.
There's a
hummingbird
right outside.
He's like,
it's trying to
"Hey,
get in
they
your
recording
ear.
the podcast.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's trying to get in your ear
It's my
for all
aura.
the sweetness of you.
It's funny. I had kind of the opposite experience when it comes to like running and cycling. What you just shared, when I got back into riding, I rode for, I don't know, maybe a year, like gained a lot of fitness, dropped weight. And then one day I decided I'm going to go for a run. And I've always hated running.
Yeah.
And I went for a run and I'm like, oh, this is why people enjoy running.
Yeah.
Like when you actually have cardio fitness and you're not 25 pounds overweight,
Yeah.
it's not that bad.
Now, have you ever gotten a runner's high?
That was probably as close to a runner's high as I've gotten
Is
that
understanding
kind of run.
The
Yeah.
accomplishment high.
I still don't run regularly, so
Yeah.
that tells you something. It's still not.
I think I got close to runner's high once. I was consistently running. This is years and years ago, and I was coming back my normal route, coming back home, and I was like, oh my gosh, I could do more.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel good. And so I like went a block more. I'm like, no, I'm done.
I can do another block.
That was
Well-
the quickest runners.
Well, in high school, I started running with our other sister, Emily, not your wife, and it took a while to understand why people do this. And then I was like, I do remember that aha, like, oh, I get it now. Okay, this is great.
I think the main thing for the running was just the lung power for me.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That was nice to have.
So you can smoke more cigarettes.
Yeah, actually, I knew a guy that would climb a whole bunch and then smoke a joint and then climb some more, smoke a joint. And I haven't tried that yet.
At least with a
Probably
joint, it's like a
won't.
puff or two, not.
No, I think
big
I'm pretty
drag.
sure he was smoking one joint per break.
Oh, sweet. Okay, never mind. And this is what I've seen in movies, not from experience on how joints work. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a child of that.
Eric, we've known you for a little bit,
Longer
and
than his life, yes.
we've always admired about you is your discipline.
And
Oh.
your
You might feel different, but to us, it's always felt like I've explained it this way to you're like, I want to do this. This is what I have to do it. So I'm going to do that. Easy. And then it was that easy. Versus us, we're like, but sugar and other things that
What about the comfort food? Where's that
laziness,
fit in?
comfort, and all those other battles. Would you describe it as being that easy for you?
No.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think we always have an incorrect perception of other people, and typically I'll perceive you as performing better at life than you actually are, because we naturally, don't talk so much about the stuff that we're struggling with, which is something I really appreciate about this podcast. Is like, you guys don't play pretend about what you're doing in life. You say, here's the struggle, and that's real, and that's good. I think I do have just some personality traits that lend themselves well to at least the appearance of discipline. I've never thought of myself as a really disciplined person, but what I am is a creature of habit. And I like routine. I'm not.
Yeah.
I know people who are like, I've been doing the same thing for a week and I'm going stir crazy. I got to change it up. And I'm like, I'm the opposite. I'm like, I don't want to change this up.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the routine. So that helps a lot. And I think when you're able to build systems into your life that help you to set a good routine to the point where it becomes a routine, that's what discipline really is. And I've done it long enough in my life to where I know what systems work for me. So like personal accountability, doing things with friends, signing up and going, we're going to do this workout every week together. I was telling you guys, I started leading a ride on Zwift, a group ride on Thursday mornings, 5:05 a.m.
Plug.
every Thursday, a 100-kilometer long ride, which is like 2 hours and 45 minutes of riding on Zwift. And I didn't create the event because I thought like, oh, all these people want to do this ride and I want to serve them. I
Yeah.
thought I need to put in more time, and if I create the event and publicize it, I will have,
You have to
wake
show
up.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. People
I'm the
are
ride
people are
leader.
waiting on you.
Yeah. So stuff like that I found really helps me a lot. And understanding how habits are formed, I think helps a lot. Like there's I don't know if you guys have read the book, The Power of Habit. It's a dude named Charles Duhigg.
Been on my
wrote it.
list, actually.
Really good book. And he, one of the things he explains in there how habits are formed, where like if you perform an activity that makes you happy at the end, you get the runner's high, whatever, your brain does the dopamine hit thing, and you're like, oh, that was good. You get that at the end of it. But the way habits are formed is you repeat those activities long enough, and those dopamine hits are coming at the end of it, the payoff. You repeat them long enough to where your body and brain are trained to where when you think about doing the activity, you think, I'm going to go for a bike ride. Your brain releases dopamine then because it's anticipating it. It's the Pavlov's dog thing where they would salivate when he rang the bell after he trained them.
I still do that.
I learned that from The Office.
Wow.
The cold open
You child.
Just kidding.
Exactly. Anyway, so for me, that kind of stuff fascinates me, and understanding when I want to create a new habit, going, when I start, I'm not going to get that dopamine hit.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to have to build something in to where I'm forced to do this thing for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks until my body learns this.
So that consistency in that builds that,
Yeah.
or helps build that as well. So
I love that you call it the creature of habit. Like that really stands out to me because like I noticed I didn't think about this till now, but I used to be a more creative type, a more not wanting the same thing every day. And then I became a bookkeeper, and every day it's the same routine at work. And there are other departments that have to like come up with workshops for people. Like every week they have to come up with new stuff. It's like, that sounds terrible. I don't want to do the same stuff. And then I started CrossFit, and I did that at work. Did that every day, work and back and forth. And sometimes my old habits would come through and knock me off. But now that creating routine, and then when you do it for long 21 days roughly and make it a habit, and then you're set
one
yourself
thing
up
that I
for
find
success.
is helpful, or in that process, I like to do something the same every time. Whether it be the same time of day or whatever the case may be. That's how I best thrive. It's when my schedule changes, or I'm traveling for work or whatever. Do you find it hard to get back into when you have like you were just in Europe recently?
Yeah.
Then you come back. I mean, was it hard to get back into the routine of things, or
No,
Or
it's
do you have
real
enough?
easy to get back in the routine. The problem is the routine getting broken up. That throws me for a loop.
Yeah.
I have a really hard time when the context shifts to keep doing the good habits.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, by the end, because we were out of town for basically almost a month, and by the end of it, I'm going, man, I want to be back in the routine. I got back home and like went
Yeah.
straight back.
Gotcha.
into it.
Okay, so you were hungry for it.
I had that like 2 weeks ago, where I was at a work conference for a week, and it was fun. Had a great time with everybody, mountain biking. And I'm like, I want to get home and do laundry. Like I want to
just
get
wanna-
back on what I
wanna
need
do
to
my
do
thing.
every
Ew,
day.
Who are you? Laundry.
I'm a man.
Laundry.
Oh,
Okay.
there's a man.
Uh,
Hey, we're coming up on the hour.
I have more. Please be quiet.
Oh, this might be a longer episode because Layden won't shut up. Go ahead.
I also wanted to add or ask you, you're a busy guy. You do a lot. You're an entrepreneur. You have a hand in a couple businesses that you run. You are the primary head of your household. You have 2 kids that are basically out of the house now, but you were very involved in raising them. Like, and also you are a leader at church. You just have a lot going on. What do you say to people that are like, I don't have time to get fit and in shape? because they're busy.
You can use insults if you want to.
Yeah.
I laugh in their face. The first thing I tell people is you have time for what's important
Yeah.
to you. We all have the same amount of time, and we fill it with what we think is important. So you got to get over the mentality that you don't have time for something, and you're blaming all this external stuff, and you have to realize that it's a priority problem that you have. It's not the world stealing your time. We've all got different priorities, and if you want to change your life, you got to change your priorities. And the funny thing about priorities is if you were to ask someone, what are your priorities? They'll tell you this really great list. But the problem is it's pretty rare that we actually live our lives in a way that lines up with what that list would be if we were stating what our priorities are. It's like we have real world priorities that we actually live by, and then we have our hopeful priorities. And I think it's really important to actually evaluate, like, if someone was to come in and just observe you, what would they say your priorities are? A really good example of this is cell phone usage.
Yeah.
So if I was to have you say, what are my priorities? You would not say, like,
Instagram.
3 hours a day of cell phone use that has to happen for my life, for me to thrive. And yet, on average, people are using their phones way more than that for just useless stuff. Like, it's like basically social media and video games. And we all know that's not adding to our life. Like, we're not pulling those up going, I need this. This is going to help me thrive and meet my goals. But we're trading 3 hours of workout time for 3 hours of phone time, because that's the decision we made. So you have to, like, I think really, really look at your life and go, what's my life actually working out to be in terms of priorities?
Yeah.
And how do I change that? But I think everybody has time.
Yeah.
Everybody has time to do what actually needs to happen. The question is, are you going to actually do it?
Yeah.
Or are you going to let your phone control your life, basically?
I liken it to, like, when you're doing like a WOD workout of the day or whatever, and you're exhausted and you're can't breathe, but you got a coach or someone yelling at you, keep going. You're like, I can't breathe. I can't keep going. And they're like, you're talking. You can
You're
breathe.
breathing.
You're literally breathing.
You're breathing right now
not
by
done.
talking. I feel like it's kind of the same thing where it's just like, oh, I don't have extra time on their cell phones or whatnot. It's like, no, you do have extra time. You just need to prioritize and say, this is more important than this over here. And go after it. Like,
do the workout before you
Yeah.
allow yourself to use the phone. I was telling you about an app I've been using this year called ClearSpace, where you have to earn minutes in order to use the apps that you've locked out on your phone.
Oh, that's cool.
And I've got it set up to where I have to earn minutes doing push-ups. So one push-up is 1 minute.
Oh, sweet.
And that's approach that's worked for me.
you know, a lot of people use their phones while they're using the restroom. So maybe it's almost like you're having to earn points to use the restroom. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I was
smart.
wondering where you were going with that. Well, and I think too, so many people think they have to work out for 3 hours to do anything. I'm like, you can get a gnarly workout in 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Like,
That's
of heart rate.
another thing that I was just gonna say. Like, it's like we share a brain.
Yes.
Ew, whoa,
Wow.
man.
Yeah.
Bye,
you can-
Drew.
Like, if you and also most people who are concerned about, who want to be more healthy, a lot of it is they want to lose weight too. Like, that's a real common thing. You can in 15 or 30 minutes get a really good workout in, and it doesn't take any time to eat less.
Yeah.
Like, portion control and a 15-minute daily workout can do wonders, especially if you're like 40 years old or under.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And sleeping more too, sleeping is great for you health-wise, and it's less time of being able to eat.
Yeah.
Well, and in CrossFit, notoriously, if it was a shorter workout on time, was like, oh, this is gonna suck. So
Yeah.
we're gonna be doing a
It's
lot.
gonna be a hard.
If it's a 15-minute time cap, we're like, oh
Yeah.
crap. Like
Yeah, you can pack a lot into 15 if you keep the.
there's
the
some Zwift
intensity up.
rides I'll find, some hill climber ones, and it's 15 minutes, and it's like one of the hardest rides I've ever done.
Yeah, yeah. And I think another way to look at it, because I think some people do have the mentality that if I don't make, I have to make this huge shift, this titanic shift in my life where I shift 2 or 3 hours of my day into fitness. Otherwise, I'm never gonna make any progress. And that's especially if you aren't currently exercising. It's like you don't need that at all. In fact, you can't even do that. You don't have the stamina to do that. There's another book I'd recommend if you guys haven't read it, is The Slight Edge by Jeff Colson, I think his name is. I think you can get a free PDF online. I read that one 15 years ago probably, and it changed the way I think about so many things in life. But one of the name The Slight Edge comes from the concept. He says people, we have this idea that bad things in life and good things in life come from major events, like you win the lottery and now you're set, or you get you get cancer and now your life is terrible. But he said the truth is, for the vast majority of people, life, the direction of your life is determined by small disciplines over many, many years. And if you think of it out like a graph, he said you can make small bad decisions over time, and it's just your graph's just gonna trend slightly downward, and then it continues to get steeper and steeper as you make more and more bad decisions over time. But the principle holds true for positive stuff too. And if you can just change small things, I'm going to do a 15-minute workout. I'm going to go on a walk once a day, because right now I'm just on the couch. And those Slight Edge things, it makes a huge difference.
Well, there's times too where even if I don't have a hardcore workout, I'm like, you know what, I showed up today. Sometimes that's the win, is I did something to progress.
Just moving.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Just moving.
Yeah. Or I mean, like I'm doing a series of just workouts on just with body weight.
Yeah.
And like it always, well, I mean, I believed it too when I first started to get into working out on a regular, where it's just like, oh, I need this equipment, I need that, all the above. And it's just like, no, you really don't. Like, just get going, get moving.
I love body weight workouts. Yeah, because you can do them anywhere.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only workouts I do, because we don't have a gym that's nearby. So yeah, it's like push-ups and
body weight workout cycling. That's it's a little bit different. I guess you find a hill with a bike.
Yeah.
Well, that's still a tool.
It's still, yep.
Never mind. I feel like the tool for
You are. I was about to say you're a tool.
You're the tool.
Thank you. Good one.
Zinger.
Got it. Well, that's great. Well, Drew, in closing, did you want to share how much Eric motivated us at the beginning?
Yeah, I was gonna say that this you you kind of really started our workout, our focused workout journey
Years ago.
when we had our first family reunion. You guys were coming up to Bend, Oregon, and that was our backyard at the time ish. And
I
we're
live
just
here.
like, we were talking about mountain biking, and then you got on board like, hey, I can bring my mountain bike. And both of us were like, oh crap, he's going to destroy us in our backyard. Like our sport. This is our sport. And he's going to destroy us. And he did anyways. But it caused us to go, all right, let's work hard on this. We spent, I think, about 6 months just really training up for it. And it showed. I mean, it like, because at the time, myself, I'll speak for myself.
That was the best climbing I'd ever done.
At the time, it was just I relied on my youth to carry me through on a sport I loved. I'd never developed discipline. I never trained for mountain biking. I would just go mountain biking, and that was the workout and all that. But so this kind of got the consistency going, got the training going to ride well. And even though you did destroy us, because Bend is very much an up down type trail system, at least where we were. And so you'd kill us on the uphill, but we had a blast on the downhill as well. But we just kept on from that. So thank you for fear motivating us to this health journey.
Well, in your guys' defense, I distinctly remember chasing you guys on the downhill, getting.
That was
I
our
mean,
goal too.
it seems weird to say I got destroyed on a downhill, but if you can be destroyed on a downhill, I definitely was.
Oh, you can.
I
It
do
looks so smooth.
I do remember it was so funny. You were like, dude, I'm watching you guys going on the downhill, and you guys are like synchronized with your dropper posts. So, like a climb coming, both of us at the.
I still just don't have the dropper post mentality. I have to think about it.
Yeah.
You guys have it so.
Oh,
second
I
nature.
remember going. Not you did great at Downieville, but in the past, right behind you, and we're going down, and your C post is like the highest I've ever seen a C post go. And I'm like, he's gonna get bucked off, dude. Like it's gonna knock him, and then you lived somehow, and I'm like, okay,
No, yeah, at the coast when we rode
Oh,
last year,
yeah,
there was some gnarly downhill. I mean, that was steep for me, and we get at the bottom, and you're just like, oh, I had my seat up in the upright position the whole time.
Well,
I'm like, what?
and that section of the trail was called Endo.
Yeah,
because that's how
yeah,
steep it was. I was like, yeah, that
I
was
was like, where'd that seat go?
yeah.
You
Well-
don't want to know.
You had your own dropper system.
So with our guests, we like to have you challenge us. Give us a challenge to do for a week.
Not too hard, please.
And it could be Zwifty related. It could be something else. It could be mind, body, spirit, whichever. Do you have a challenge for us to take on for the next week?
Yeah, I think because both of you guys are talking about wanting to build endurance. I think the riding 100 miles in a week is a great target, or because you guys are mountain bikers and mileage is different on the mountains, try to log 6 hours in a week,
In a week, okay.
which is kind of the rough equivalent of a road riding 100 miles. But that's the way. It's for me. It's those weekly time or distance targets that force you to go. I got to get on my bike today, even if it's not a hard ride. To put in an hour of spinning and having your lungs work instead of not riding.
Yeah,
So that'd be my challenge.
cool.
Okay, so
Or you're gonna
100
hate this because this is who I am, and I'm like, let's make it worse. 100 miles in 6 hours. Just kidding. Anyway, versus 6 hours or 100 miles.
You can do what you want.
Also, you can have a week delay because you're gonna be here for another week. So if you want to do that challenge when you get home, you can.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I'm definitely on board for it, but I head out to
But there's also
Utah
a bike.
next week for a challenge.
Utah.
For the Mountain Ops Challenge.
With James Stone,
One of our previous guests. One of our only other guests.
our first guest.
Yeah, so I'm currently training for that. Not that I can't throw in, but I'm kind of at that stage where I'm going to be starting to taper off.
Just
But
sit on a bike for 6 hours.
you
too.
sit on a bike for 6 hours.
I do.
Well, thank you. I will. So, but I'm game. I'm actually game because I do want to start training now for next year and for more riding this summer as well. So
This is gonna be a crazy challenge for me because I've barely put 6 hours on Zwift in general. So
yeah, what level? 8?
6 or 8? I don't know.
8.
8.
Late
8.
in. Yeah, no, I'm actually excited to
Yeah, this
see
will be
you
good.
in your results.
Ooh.
So what we try to do is we record and different sessions or
Make a
whatever,
little
and
video.
make a little video, and you just have to trust us that we actually did it. But
Also, there will be a little short video of our Downieville trip that you guys can check out on Instagram. So that'll be fun. But
Instagram, YouTube.
yeah, so we are on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Apple and Spotify. So go follow us, listen to Eric and all of his wisdom, and
And take on the challenge yourself.
yes, do the challenge
If-
yourself.
Not you. I mean, you can if you
You
want.
do it.
You.
I'll do it.
I'll do it. Done.
Let's do it. Yes.
Yeah.
And then post your results and have fun with it. So
Well, thank you, Eric. This has
Yeah.
been awesome. We on the riding trip at Downieville. We've just gotten to know each other better. Just spending time together.
Fun.
Yeah, good.
Always a pleasure, boys. Always a pleasure.
always. Ooh. Oh,
I told you. I told you he likes us.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Loves us.
until the camera turns off.
Oh, crap.
Get out of my office.
My home.
Exactly. Cool.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys. We'll
thank you.
see you next week. And
I don't know.